It won't be that. It'll be mixed. It's already happening in Italy. It's already happening in, of all places, Germany. Well, they already had the Turks, but if you look at Turks, you wouldn't know much difference from them than the German. But everybody else is loading in. Poor England? Shh. Okay, now, all of those places, the people are waking up. But it's the other generation in Europe is waking up, the past generations from our period. But they send in a new generation. When they come in, they'll be happy to be there, like the ones over here. From before, happy to be here. You can't get them to move. You can't get them to say nothing. But their children will grow up there. Like the children in the universities now, they're Americans. All their schooling was Declaration of Independence, this, that, and another. They feel like, you can't do that to us. Their parents wasn't really raised here, or their children. The point is, the kids now in the universities, Muslims and everybody else, they have the American spirit, the American psychic, right? That means that you can't do that to us while we're citizens, right? We're citizens. Their parents never feel like they're really, because they could be sent back home, and some that were just young kids when they're older now. But the ones that are born and raised here in the colleges now, they strictly from here. Because the embargoes they had on Muslims coming in, they can't do it for a while. And who has the most children? We do. Who has the less children? They do, right? How are all the demographics going? In America, our dear Latino brothers, we say, Alhamdulillah, Bafarma, it's yours. We want to be here with you, so, we're going to seek your permission, because they stole most of the country from them, right? Of course, they stole it from the Indians, but we're saying, like they say, we didn't cross the border crossed us. In 2000, they said it was 39 million Negroes and 39 million Latinos. And the last go round, that was 2000. This go round, I think they done went so far out in front. It's like, because if you went anywhere, even around here, when I came here, this area, especially the Southeast, it was babies having babies, 12-year-old girls having babies. You see any babies around lately in the black community? I don't know what they put in the food or what it was, right? But they're not running around. The teen pregnancy was so bad when I got here that it was just, and it was kids everywhere. They would run over you, steal your stuff. They're just everywhere. Little black children. Nowadays, that's not happening. But let's get back to the thing. Remember, there's a parent and there are hidden things happening to systems, societies, and people. Like there are hidden things in our life that affect us. The more we know about them, the more we can direct our lives. There are hidden things happening, and they pop up, and the system is not prepared to deal with it. This is all happening with America right now. Everything that's happening with America, they're not prepared. They don't have a handle on, may I say it, nothing. The forest fires. They should just empty the prisons out and have everybody out planting trees. Why? Because the roots are going to hold water. So what little water you do get, is the roots is going to hold it. If it don't, it's going to run off. Now they just put more carbon in the air. The trees, they let more carbon because the trees hold all the carbon, right? And California burns down every year. So they exaggerate or exacerbate, whatever the word is, their own problems. And if it was grass covering the ground, if it was they plant stuff now, big super planting, and if they had any sense, they would just plant over the grass and everything, modern stuff. And that way, none of the stuff would run off. Why? Now they got to use a zillion things of water. If they left when they plow, when you plow up a whole thing, the first one you see is you see moist soil, right? When you plow it up. In a few days, it's dry. When you plow it up, new farming says don't plow up nothing. Shoot, leave all the stuff on top of the ground and you keep the water. The water is a sponge. The grass is a sponge. It holds the water. You let all the grass go and all the dirt, everything erosion, they call it, I know it. It runs off. So anything they do, they add to their own problems. And they're doing it now with Bolsonaro, whatever his name was down in Brazil. What's the name? I like Donald Trump. He says, F the planet, F this and F that, right? He just said, whatever you're going to do, burn it down, let it go. And they call Brazil the lungs of the world, the lungs. Okay. We're not going to put up with that because our children have to live on this planet too. And we're going after the polluters, the murderers, and we're going to make the world a better place. It's our job. Yeah. We're not going to let them bums just because they have the power. Well, we're going to do something about it. Just because they're discombobulated, well, they shouldn't have messed with us because we're going to help them be more psycho-discombobulated. They're going to have a policy of muddling through, like Afghanistan, and anything else they do. Do you ever listen to the news a little bit? Them people is crazy. They can't keep nothing focused. They call muddling, they're muddling through. They just tripping over this, tripping over that, saying this, saying that, and they're not going anywhere. They're muddling through. Okay. The status that they held in the world, that's gone. That's gone. Boss man is gone, and boss man has strictly downed everybody around him. All his allies, he tricked the dumb British to get out of the union that they had. Shoot, the common union that Britain used to be the main one pushing that 50, 60, long time ago. Okay, now they out. And ain't no truck drivers, you see what's happening in Europe? They just, that's when you create your own problem, right? Nobody did that to them. They created their own problem. Brexit, we want to be Brexit. We don't want to be like you guys anymore. The U.S. told them to do that, dummies. You just break away from them. You be with us, man. We English speaking. They speak Dutch and all kind of stuff. Me and you all the way. And them dummies went for it. Some of them did. It's the dumbest thing as you can get. And then you got to pay all the penalties for break, because they wrote in there, if you break away, you got to pay $1 zillion worth of penalties. And now since you're gone, you don't have access to all the trucks, so they don't have nothing. They about to starve to death in Britain today. You ever listen to the news? They don't have nothing. They don't have margarine, butter. They don't have nothing. It's self-created. Boss man, self-created. The problems he have, self-created. Well, we're going to fix this and give away all of this money. Yeah, you gave away all the money 2 years ago, last year, and now you got a zillion. It's all written down. If you do this, you're going to have super duper inflation. Well, inflation tricked them this time because they thought we just going to, have a little bit of inflation. This is the highest inflation they had since when inflation was big, when they was selling what they call a hedge. Y'all probably wouldn't remember that. A hedge against inflation. They used to sell a little hedge, They're like hedges. And it was a hedge against inflation. It was a joke, but people was buying it. They'll buy anything as Americans. I'm telling you, if you look here, it's chaotic. It's chaos. It's worse than, we're living in, when they write about this period, it will be a period of chaos, not tranquility. There's been no tranquility, no period of peace. And everything they do is stupid. I didn't mean to get on this, but they tell Germany, now Germany, we know it gets cold. Y'all get a little cold. But you're getting all of that gas from, Russia. And we ain't got none to give you, but we would like for you to cut that out. So would you just freeze to death this winter? Right? What happens? The price is going through the sky. We don't want you guys to buy any oil from Iran. Do you think Iran, what's the oil prices now? Oil prices, let's go across the board. It's about $90 a barrel, right? $90. The highest oil that I can remember, it was $110 a barrel? Another $20, they'll be up there. Now, when oil is that high, have you heard Iran crying about oil? We don't have no money. Why was that? Because if oil is $90 a barrel and we'll sell it to you, we're going to give you a deal. Cash on the barrel head, man, we giving y'all this oil for $75 a barrel. They could do it for, the oil minister told me if they just take $5 off. But oil is so high. Why is it so high? Because they don't want nobody to buy Iranian oil. If they put their 3 million barrels on the market, it would bring it down, right? You're talking about a bad manager and a greedy bum. Suppose you have a family. Supposing like all of us right here, we have families. And we have all the nice food on the table, and all of us, we gonna eat first and eat the most. We gonna be so fat, we gonna be eating. And the children gonna be there with their mouths hanging out and everything, right? That's boss man. In the world today, think about it. And saying it's not hidden anymore like sophistication. It's just straight out. I don't want y'all to do that. Australia, oh man, you can't work with China. Well, we do sell all our beef to China, and they was even selling wine to China. And now they're sitting there holding all the economy in Australia is because China got enough sense to know, yeah, we're your neighbors right across the road, across the ocean, right across the water. But if you're mean to us, we're not going to buy, what do you have over there? All of that beef? Well, just keep it. If we keep it, the beef is going to get bigger, and we can't. No problem with me. It's like the thing was happening last. What is this animals that, not turkeys or something, but they would slaughter them when they're a certain size, and if you keep them longer than that, they get bigger and bigger, and you can't. So if you hold it off a certain amount of time, the machinery